Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Just Lights. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about this Dietz number 40 traffic guard lantern right here. Now, what I want to do is I want to take this outside, give it a good hosing off, clean it all up, dry everything up. One thing I want to do is I want to try to look at some of these numbers on top, do a little research to see if I can kind of pinpoint a year range and stuff like that, and then just kind of give it a good cleaning and try to give you all a little bit of history about these lights right here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Based on the embossing on the lid of this light right here, it's a traffic guard number 40 Dietz light made in Syracuse, New York, USA. Based on that information, this light is roughly dated to be 1956 to 1957. The R.E. Dietz company was manufacturing these lights from 1953 to 1970. The Dietz company acquired this light from the Embry company in 1953 and continued to manufacture the Model 40 under its own brand name. Some sources say that production likely shifted from Syracuse, New York to Hong Kong late 1956, while other sources suggest production might have ended as early as 1962. There were other sources that indicate that it remained in production until 1970 to 1971. Alright, so I got to this point right now. Now you can see the inside of this cap area obviously is full of soot. Pretty nasty inside there, including this piece right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some gasoline and a toothbrush. I'm going to kind of clean all that stuff up really good. Then after that, I'm going to hit it with some brake clean to definitely get all the stuff off of it, any kind of residues and stuff like that. And then after that, I'll go ahead and I'll get this nice and cleaned up. I'll get in here with some rags and try to get into all the little grooves and stuff like that, get that nice and cleaned up. Now, this is a light that I've had in my collection for quite a while now. I've actually had this thing probably about 15 to 17 years at this point. This was actually a Christmas present from my wife. She actually picked this up out of one of those consignment stores, and the reason she got it is because she knew I didn't have anything like this in my collection already, and she knows I collect all kinds of antique and unique kind of lighting and stuff like that, so she figured it'd be perfect for it. What's really cool is the fact that she supports my hobby, which is also very important. Alright, so now I got everything kind of cleaned up. I went ahead and switched to a dry towel to get rid of that gasoline-soaked shirt right there. So I have something nice to work on. Now, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm thinking I might actually just do like a small little semi-restoration on this thing. I mean, I already have this little dent right here that I was planning on hammering out and straightening up the best I could anyways. But the more I'm looking at it and getting it cleaned up, the more I'm noticing that this thing wasn't originally this orange color. It must have faded that color. It was originally a red color. Because when you look at the bottom, that's very much red. And then behind this little latch right here, you see you got the red right there. And then on the inside, you got the red. So this thing was originally more of a red color, not so much this orange color right here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, get the dent hammered out. I think I'm going to do a little bit of sandblasting on this thing, kind of, give myself a good surface to work with. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back to its original condition as far as having that red color on there. And then when I get done with that, I'll get all this stuff put back in, try to get that wick down inside there, maybe get myself a little bit of kerosene, and see if we can make this thing come to life before the end of the video. So let's go ahead and start working on that right there, and then we'll just kind of go from there. I probably should have mounted my camera in a different spot. I didn't realize I was shaking the camera this much, so I do apologize for the shakiness of the camera through this next segment. What I didn't realize at first when I was doing my hammering is that that lid right there actually has 2 layers. I guess it's just to help with some of the heat control, so if you put your hand at the very top, it won't be as hot. Now right here I'm just using just a little sandblaster that I've got from Walmart a super long time ago. I'm just going to sandblast to get it down to the bare metal. And right here I'm just going to use my blower, blow everything out really good, get all the sand out of it, and I'll wipe it down with some paint thinner to give myself a clean surface. And I'm just going to just use the regular red aerosol can spray paint and just put a few light dustings on it. I'll probably do about 3 coats and then let it dry. Okay, so I got the paint on there. I'm just going to go ahead and let it hang here overnight. And then tomorrow when it's all dry, I'll get back on it. Okay, so it's the next day. Everything's all nice and dry. I've already started doing a little bit of reassembly here. I started off by putting this piece in on the top. Now what this piece is intended for is it's meant to channel the heat and the smoke from the flame up through the top here and out these vents right here. So this way it doesn't get trapped inside there and choke out your flame and stuff like that. The other intended use that it's for is, when the glass dome is on here, you'll see this has a little spring on there. See how it can actually move in and out? What that does is as it sits down, that is meant to sit directly on top of your lens like this, giving you as best of seal as possible to help keep extra air from getting inside there. So if you're waving it back and forth, it's not going to blow the flame out. So if you actually have one of these, you're going to use it for its intended use. This is a very important piece to have. It's just going to sit on a shelf. It's not too critical to have, but it's kind of cool that this one's in here. Now, for demonstration purposes, for me to actually light this thing to kind of show you guys this thing in action, while I was blowing it out, a piece of cord fell out, and I thought it was actually a piece of wick and all that stuff, but it actually isn't. When I looked at it closer, it's actually just a piece of ripcord for like a weed eater, lawnmower, or something like that. And this is a nylon base rope, and all it's going to do is melt. So you can't use something like this. And it actually kind of looks like it was already tried to be used once before to begin with. So what I did is I went to a couple of stores to see what I could find. I can't find any wicks of this kind of size that's going to fit inside here. So what I'm going to do for a substitute, just to kind of show you guys this thing in action, is I picked this stuff up right here. It's just a straight cotton base, kind of rope right here. A lot of people might use these for clotheslines. Then I picked up a little bit of Zippo fluid. And what my plan is here is I'm going to take the cord and I'm just going to soak the cord with the Zippo fluid only. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want to pour a bunch of flammable liquid down inside here. Because once I'm done with the demonstration, it goes back up on the shelf. I don't want a bunch of flammable fluid sitting inside here, or I don't want to have to try to drain it and all that kind of stuff. That'd be kind of a bit of a pain. So I'm just going to soak the cord just enough so this way I can light it up and show you guys this thing in action. So the next step is I'm going to go ahead and get this lens cleaned up a little bit more, and then we will kind of see this thing in its finished state. All right, so as I was cleaning this lens up, I want to kind of show you a couple of unique things about these older style antique lights. One, you got the name embossed right into the glass, which is always really cool to see on these antique lights. This one right here is actually in really good condition. You see there's absolutely no cracks, no chips, no pieces missing, nothing. It's actually really nice. But what kind of puzzled me was that part right there. At first, I thought it might have been like an inspection window where like you can kind of see inside there and see like the flame or something like that. Because see, you can see my finger really good, but like over here, the image is kind of distorted. So I went online to kind of see if I could figure out what that might have been intended for. And essentially what I've read is they're saying that's essentially acts as almost like a flashlight, where like this right here is supposed to give you a little bit more of a broader, kind of look, of the light. This one right here is supposed to give you a little bit more of like a pinpoint kind of look. It was supposed to be able to be seen from much further away. How effective it really was or how it really actually looked from a distance, I don't really know. But supposedly that's what its intended use was for. So let's go ahead and get this thing put back together and fire it up. All right, so I went ahead and brought you down to a little bit of a bird's eye view real fast so you can see the flame in action and get it lit here. There we go. So you see with the little adjuster, just small turns can make a big difference on the height of that flame inside there. Let's go ahead and put this lens on. I can burn myself in the process here. Okay. So you can see we're just a little bit of adjustment makes a big difference inside there as far as how bright and dim it goes. I'm going to rotate this thing around so we can see that little flashlight kind of portion that they're talking about. So you see what that's a little more like a pinpoint dot versus say like right here. So what my plan is once it gets dark, I want to actually hold this towards the wall a little bit and see if I can see a difference. If not, obviously it wasn't super effective. But let's go ahead and wait till it gets dark and we'll see this thing at nighttime. Okay, so it's finally dark enough out. I put a piece of cardboard on the back side there so this way we can definitely see the difference from one to the other. So let me get down to where we got a nice little beam going here. All right, so that's the regular portion of the lens itself. Go ahead and rotate it to that one part. Oh, there we go. You see where it definitely puts off a nice little, defined little dot there. I'm sure the brighter you make it, the more that dot sort of disappears. And the reason for that is the height of the flame in relation to the center of that. So you see, like if I get it in a certain spot, it's very pronounced. All right, so let's see what this looks like from a distance. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this around till that dot is right there in the center. Now, for the most part, I mean, you can see a little bit of a difference, but it's not as pronounced as I was kind of expecting it to be. I'm going to go ahead and bring the flame up and down just a little bit to see if maybe something triggers it a little bit better. But you can definitely see there's a defined dot there. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate it back to the regular lens. I'll bring it up and down. You can see, outside of the fact that you don't really see the dot, it's not a big difference. Okay, so here we are. I think that was actually a pretty cool little test to see the difference between the regular lens and the pinpoint portion of the lens. I really didn't see a drastic difference, to be honest with you, but it was still kind of a cool test to do. Overall, I think this light turned out pretty good with the mild restoration on it. But this is my Dietz traffic guard lantern right here. They would use this for obviously directing traffic, maybe even during a little bit of railroad and stuff like that. Most likely they probably maybe swung it like this or just hung it up, whatever the case may be. But it's definitely a really cool looking light. It's going to go back up on the shelf so I can collect some more dust again. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.